Hold on there. This way leads into the necropolis, a dangerous area. You shouldn't go in there unless you have some business there. Ghosts have been rising up everywhere in the Empire, I've heard. So many have come up in the necropolis that it just isn't safe anymore. It would take an army of us to clear them out, if we could do it at all. We can't even safely post a guard in there. We just warn people away. The Lotus Assassins want everyone kept away as well. First time I've heard of them being altruistic. Things have been bad over the past few, let's say 5 years. No one has any idea why so many of the dead refuse to return to the Wheel of Life peacefully. All we know for sure is that they're not happy. Not happy at all. Ghosts have been rising up everywhere in the Empire, I've heard. So many have come up in the necropolis that it just isn't safe anymore. It would take an army. We just warn people. Bad. Real bad. Monks used to go in every few weeks to clean out the ones who had risen. But lately it's become too much for them to handle. You look like a warrior. I'm sure you know that even if you disperse a ghost in combat, they reform again eventually. It takes a long time, but it's inevitable. Leave the dead to their own is what I say. Just block the whole place off and start again somewhere else. Stay away from the necropolis. I wouldn't want a pretty girl like you getting hurt in there.
I greet you, my lady. I wonder if you might have some silver to spare. I come from a very wealthy family. As such, I have a certain lifestyle to maintain. Parties, female admirers, lots of wine, you understand. I have to have an income, don't I? My father looked at my considerable expenses and told me to get my own silver. Ah, but I am a noble. The shame of manual labor or the stink of trade must not be allowed to touch me. How could there be shame? You've got it and I want it. Should I steal it? Never. Simply ask like a civilized soul, I say. I am afraid I cannot do that. That would be trade, and I simply will not sully my beautifully soft hands with such. I will tell you for free, however. I read all the greatest philosophers and consulted with wise men before reaching this decision. I assure you the philosophical underpinnings are quite sound. Wisdom is only gained by experience, wine, women, and song, as it were. But a life of revel with no reflection still does not lead to true wisdom. One must ponder, one must daydream. Even if I could bear the shame of sullying my hands with work, when would I think? How could I grow wise? Well, it loses some of the subtlety when you put it that way. But yes. If you want to give me that coin because I entertained you, I will not have it. To think an entertainer. I thank you. It's not easy for one such as I. I have it far more difficult than the impoverished beggars of this city. Farewell.
Your parentage is below average, and your ancestry is of questionable worth. You dress yourself in the manner of a common laborer. Nobody's paying any attention.
Keep trying, just as I instructed.
Your physique seems exceptional. Clearly you are a peasant. A noble could afford sloth. Your breath is like the wind of an ox. Your last meal was of suspect quality. Your beliefs are superficial, and your culture is substandard.
You are right to demand an explanation. Forgive my servant. I instructed him to find someone not distracted by mere insults, someone who would command respect. Your demand for justification of his arguments was admirable. You are exactly what we need. An outlander strolled into the city several days ago and now sits like a cormorant taking what he wants from the river of our hospitality. He balks at our attempts to calm him and answers requests for payment with strange coins of questionable value. He needs to go. The Outlander is not a dignitary or traveling merchant. He is a parody of civilized behavior. He spews insults at the Emperor himself. So far, he has escaped the notice of any higher officials. Perhaps he was mistaken for an actor in a troupe, but that will not last. If he is reported, the Lotus Assassins will take notice. They'll want to know if he was harbored or his offense was encouraged. Guilt by association is enough for them. That's what's so infuriating. He doesn't respond to reason. He proposes challenges we don't understand and then declares himself the winner. Several of our brightest have faced him, but as soon as they get the better of him, he sets off his strange firework and says they are beaten. Normally, the peasants like it when we intellectuals are maligned, but they tire of his presence too. Getting rid of this nuisance will endear you to many. I hope your ability matches your conviction. Several others have fallen short, despite their outrage at his antics. He is in the Scholar's Garden, and no amount of opposition has moved him. Please, I hope you will prove to be a worthy opponent.
Good day, citizen. Some minor thing I can help you with? It's the Honorable Lotus Assassins, you see. They feel that those of us dedicated to the Imperial Army are nothing more than louts to be ordered about. Any member of the army, even city guard, is expected to defer any major disturbances to them. Makes me about as useful as a lamppost. This district? Well, it's called the Golden Way for a variety of reasons. Certainly one of the richer areas of the city, and one of the best looking as well. This district is a major thoroughfare, with the Scholar's Garden at one end and the Market District at the other. There's also the Necropolis, but most people avoid that place. Who wants to spend time with the dead? I'm afraid not. I'm on duty, and it's imperative that I remain focused on what few tasks I'm still deemed capable of performing. A fellow guard once paused for idle chit-chat with a woman. She went to the Lotus Assassins with the story of his inattentiveness. Next thing you know, he's arrested for threatening the security of the Empire with his lax ways. I don't know what happened to him, but I don't want to share his fate. What district are you looking for? Easy enough to find. Just head as far east as you can go in this district and take the smaller path up the hill. It winds a bit past the Performer's Pagoda and leads right into the Scholar's Garden. You'll want to be careful in there. To get there, head to the western edge of this district. There's a footbridge that leads to the Necropolis gates. Somewhat hard to miss, as it's cut right into the rock with 3 statues around it. The Market District's easy enough to find. Just head to the west end of the Golden Way and then turn north and go through the large gate. A pleasure. Anything else? Be about your business and stay out of trouble. Pleasure to be of service.
All those nobles with fat purses and thin intellects. I swear, heaven must look like this.
I didn't expect you in your strange training to make it to the Imperial City. You are proving to be a very interesting person. I should have seen it coming. I suspect that we share a similar strength. As the Heavenly Lily, I am above suspicion, but I am restrained by fawning servants. Silk Fox can go anywhere, and people are not shy about their reactions. There is a thrill, of course, and it allows me to find information useful to us both. Death's Hand brought your Master Li to the palace a few days ago. I saw the flyer. He was bound in chains. He must be powerful, but I still don't believe he is Sun Li, the glorious strategist. I was too young to know him. I was told that he and Prince Qin, the third brother, fell defending the Empire 20 years ago. Now it seems they may have been traitors. I discovered this looking through records for information on Death's Hand. Perhaps he tried to influence Sun Li and Sun Qin before corrupting my father. But it doesn't matter who your master is. I could take you to the palace, but Death's Hand controls what my father hears. He must be discredited for you to succeed. Death's Hand has almost total control over my father. We must find conclusive evidence of his crimes and reveal his corruption. And I know how. Construction on the wall has stopped for the first time in generations. The workers now toil in factories building powerful creatures of stone and clay called golems. Death's Hand could use these automatons to seize the Empire, and my father is oblivious. We must infiltrate the Lotus Assassins and find evidence of this treachery. We need proof of Death's Hand's intent from the seat of his power, the Lotus Assassin Fortress. It would be impossible to assault, so just walk in. They are recruiting. Have any Lotus Assassins who saw your face live to report back? I doubt it. They will not recognize you as the person who fought them in Tian's Landing. They have a vague description full of guesswork that has guards holding people at random. Besides, they expect an attack, not someone trying to catch their eye. I would wager that you may profit from their tasks too. Can you see the beauty in using their own methods of recruitment to fight them? I think they deserve it. There are guilds within the Lotus Assassins. Executioners look for fearsome warriors. Inquisitors are more subversive, and they look for cunning in their agents. If you prove yourself in the arena, they will notice you. My people can spread rumors of your interest. The Executioner will take a real interest when you finish the silver round. Or if you prefer, the Inquisitor recruiter is also seeking new people. He might be open to persuasion. Death's Hand rules over the Lotus Assassins, so I take special interest in their activities. I've had most of my life to ask questions. You suspect my motives? You have no reason to doubt me. If I wanted the Lotus Assassins to find you, I could simply tell them your name. Ask Scholar Dongao in the Scholar's Garden about him. Dongao is closer to the Assassins than he should be. He will tell you where to meet the Inquisitor. Or seek the Executioner. My people will spread rumors of your interest, and he will approach you in the arena. They like fighters who have passed the silver round. Unless you want me with you, I will wait at your flying machine. You travel with such interesting peasants. I'm sure I'll be entertained for hours. Of course. I look forward to it.
Always happy to help. What do you need? Dawnstar has been telling me about two rivers, the Swamp and Gao the Lesser. I was sorry to hear about your town. You're a woman with a knack for finding trouble. I didn't say it was a bad thing. We're kindred spirits, you and I. There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Why? Seriously, why are you doing this? Details aside, you're fighting the Empire as a whole when you oppose the Lotus Assassins, Death's Hand, or the Emperor's will. I know all about your village and your master, and that explains some of it. What it doesn't explain is your drive, your strength. What gives you that? I wonder if fate cast this burden upon you, or if you rose up on your own to shoulder it. History will probably decide. I know you're going to follow Silk Fox's plans to find a way into the Assassin's Den. It won't be easy, but I'm confident we'll succeed. It's what happens after you find a way in that has me worried. What can I say? You're a source of constant excitement in my life. I'd hate to lose that. All kinds. Trust me. Let's not get too far off topic, though. This is important. I knew men and women who were drawn to the Lotus Assassins. They went into that place to prove themselves, as you intend to. And the few who made it back out were different. They acted like they didn't know us, or just didn't care if we lived or died. It's hard to say if there's even a difference to the Lotus Assassins. I know you'll be fine. The Assassins will be lucky if you don't bring the place down around their ears. Just be sure not to tip your hand before you're ready. That's all in the future, though. We should keep at what we're doing. There's a lot left to tackle before we're done. Well, let's see if I can break it down for you. We're desperately trying to impress the people who are trying to kill you and who kidnap your master. That, of course, will allow us to enter the heart of their lair, where we can acquire highly sensitive evidence against the most dangerous man in the Empire. If we were anyone else, I'd say we were doomed. But hey, we got me. I was thinking about a story my father once told me. He was a scoundrel, but he could spin a fine yarn when he wasn't robbing caravans. Have you ever heard the tale of the Eternal Companions? The Eternal Companions were a group of warriors that traveled the ancient kingdoms, well before the formation of the Empire. They were said to be giants, to know styles no one could match, to always appear to offer their services to a kingdom when times were worst. The tales are too fantastic to be accurate, though I'm sure the Black Whirlwinds tried at least once. No one can actually cleave a mountain in two. What made me bring this up was just a simple thought. Were these companions real people once? Were they just like us? Something tells me they were, but not in the way you'd expect. You know how legends tend to grow in the telling? I think they also absorb other tales as they go. I doubt it. For instance, we have yet to wipe out a rival kingdom. Failing that, I'm a bit shy of 12 feet tall. The point is that when things are wrong, people believe that someone will do something about it. Whether we succeed or not, we're those someones right now. More importantly, you're the someone. You're the real reason we're together. And I worry about how much of this rides on your shoulders. You're important to me in many ways. I just want you to know that I'll do anything I can to help. Anything. Just ask. Well, that would be terribly out of character, wouldn't it? No. No changes are planned on my end. We'll talk again soon, I promise. For now, let's get back to it.
Well, look who we have here. There's no princess to save you this time.
Do you think we'd forget? You can't humiliate us and just walk away. We'll teach you to insult a guard of the Imperial City.
Longsword!
I find the scholars endlessly amusing. Talk to a few, and you'll understand what I mean.
Hello there, traveler. Forgive my forwardness, but I noticed your arrival earlier while I was at the tavern. That flying machine of yours is truly a marvel. I actually have a design for a new prototype flyer, and I hope to get funding to build it one day. The other scholars aren't interested in my inventions, though. Me? You want to ask me something? Well, sure, I'd be glad to help you if I can. What would you like to know? Oh, I'm Scholar Zenyu. I'm one of the newer Scholar elites. I was actually born in the poor quarter, but my uncle brought me here when I was only 10. He knew I would never have a chance at a real life unless I had some proper schooling. I've lived here with him ever since. That's right, you're new here, aren't you? Well, where should I begin? There's so much to tell you. There are several important areas here in the city. Of course, there are also many different services, too. I'm not sure what to tell you first. Sure. Well, let's see. This place is the Scholars' Garden. For the most part, only stuffy old philosophers and scholars reside here. Farther down toward the city, you'll find the Golden Way. Many wealthy people live and work there. Hopefully some willing to fund one of my inventions. Then there's the Market District, near where you landed earlier. Most of the city does its business there. It's an interesting place. At least, I think so. You'll also find the path to the Black Leopard School there, across the river from the arena. I haven't been there, but I hear it's an interesting place to visit. One of the best places in the city is the arena. Just don't tell my masters I said so. If you go to the arena, you'll also see the heart of the Empire Tavern. And of course, there are several shops and merchants with all manner of supplies available. All of that can be found in the Market District. I'm not supposed to go there. At least not when I'm studying, but it's hard to resist. It's known as the best tavern in all the Empire. I actually do some of my best thinking while I'm there. I like to sit in the upper rooms with a bit of wine and just look out over the city, or the arena. Of course. What do you want to know? Sure. What would you like to know? A city like this always has rumors. Some people say the ghosts are angry and attacking innocent people. Another rumor suggests the Emperor is dying. But I wouldn't believe any of that. Just because the Emperor hasn't been seen in a while doesn't mean he's ill. Perhaps he just wants some solitude. The Emperor is a wise and powerful man. How else could he have solved the drought so many years ago? I wasn't born then, but I've heard the stories. It's true that he hasn't been seen much recently, but I don't think it's anything to worry about. It's not like the Empire is falling apart in his absence. Maybe he's just taking a rest from all the hard work he's done. Nobody deserves a rest more than the Emperor. I think they are just rumors. I haven't seen any ghosts at all, angry or otherwise. If the ghosts are angry about something, why aren't they here right now? Come to think of it, I don't know any one person who's ever seen a ghost. I prefer to spend my time and energy on things that are real. Designing a new prototype flying machine, now that's important. Sure. What would you like to know? All right then. Goodbye.
Osan sietsuno go boko. Koni uk noia kup sa ia sisia su uko. Utatsa ia okayoe ia fonia sisa ia rusta pafawe ia toluia. Aworth utkua wo kokopia kawa ia elwo. Wasafno sositu no ko ota napia ifa ia ok. Wo kuketita sumpono, sathwa kawa ia ifiak. Wo kawa ia tanke ia nano wo ia wasonoak. Uksa ia spithu ki ukoniero thakno. Uksa ia ifratsa ia thosopani rania. Kawa ia a ithino na hipi no faitea. Kone uk noea kup sa ia sisia su ukot. O ifo ia uk sonkop noko isansia. Ni upa ia kupu sa ia Elworth kraka ia nano uksaro isoak nikano wo napia shathia uko. Elworth utkua wo kokopia kawa ia Elworth. Woso au ia ni tu uksumpuno. Kutkosi wiwa ia wo no ia ifo wia o ta wikino. Yo wia sonse ia wo yo wia kon onpefifia.
Greetings and welcome to the Scholar's Garden. I am Philosopher Xiao, one of the many masters you will see here during your visit. I see by your accoutrements that you are not from the Imperial City. I hope your visit here is one of fulfillment and success. As Sagacious Tien once said, more valuable than silk are new friends in a foreign land. If you need anything, I will be glad to assist you. Of course, questions lead to answers, answers to knowledge, knowledge to enlightenment, and enlightenment to peace. The teachings of Sagacious Tien are based on these precepts. I would be honored to assist you if I am able. I am honored that you would ask me, though I must warn you, the teachings take a lifetime to learn and cannot be taught in a day. Perhaps I could explain the core principles of Tien's teachings. I could recite the history of Tien if you like. Sagacious Tien was the first emperor of the Jade Empire. He was a philosopher and a leader without compare, unifying the warring factions of his time. His teachings founded this great empire, though there was very little written about Tien himself. We do know that he brought peace to the people of the empire, and since that time, his teachings have guided hundreds of generations of followers. The teachings of Sagacious Tien are very simple, but the implications are astoundingly complex. At the heart of the teachings are the concepts of harmony and discord. Also referred to as the way of the open palm and the way of the fist, one cannot exist without the other, but neither can they coexist in one person. Harmony with the world comes from understanding your place in the world. An ant that believes it is a tiger will never achieve harmony. In other words, accepting your place in the world and using your skills accordingly is the optimal way of following the path of harmony. Discord is the other side of the coin. People who choose the path of discord seek their own advancement over everything else. These people will ignore the world and use whatever means necessary to raise themselves above their station. Sagacious Tien taught both harmony and discord to his students, for one cannot be fully known without the other. However, he himself followed the way of harmony. Of course. What would you like to know? I'm afraid I would not be the best person to ask, but there are others to whom I could direct you. You could ask young scholar Zenyu. He spends a good deal of time in the city enjoying worldly pursuits, though he does not think his masters know it. There is also a man named Bai who works near the Imperial Arena. He is renowned for his knowledge of the city. The Scholar's Garden is the seat of learning in the Jade Empire. The philosophers and scholars who live here dedicate their lives to the pursuit of wisdom. The scholars are dedicated to unlocking the secrets of the physical world. Many still follow the teachings of Sagacious Tien, though some take their studies too far. I am certainly not opposed to their ways of study. Indeed, the scholars have made many wonderful and important discoveries. We philosophers dedicate our lives to the study and teaching of the ways of Sagacious Tien. We believe in peace and harmony and balance. Many find it difficult to grasp the significance or usefulness of our studies, but we assist anyone willing to learn the ancient teachings. Of course. What would you like to know? As you wish. With luck, the winds of heaven will bring us together again one day. Farewell.
As amusing as your savage dances are, once again I have proven the superiority of setting your nose to the grindstone and not mucking about. Now bring some refreshments in a proper mug, or I'll take back the coins of my home and country. Don't you heathens know the worth of a proper king's halfpenny?
Generous visitor, if our customs are so displeasing to you, perhaps you should find lodging elsewhere?
Please? And leave you lot to your primitive ways? Tell them what I think of that, Squire Percival.
Sir Roderick Ponce von Fontelbottom, the magnificent bastard, will do no such thing. He means to educate you all.
Good lad. Found him wading in the mud, planting weeds. You can't keep your crackers crisp doing that. Can't help you if you don't know the horror of a soggy biscuit. I've given him dignity, and unless one of you has the will to deny that I'm your better, I suggest you start learning. We'll have you in proper trousers by the morrow. Oh, what's that? Someone stepping to the fore? Let's have a look at you. A woman? My dear, not sure what topsy cradle you fell from, but in my country a lady knows her place, unless she's queen. The simple truth is that I have bested every one of you who has come forward, whether in tests of wit or combat. You faced a champion of king and country. Now, I didn't ask to land here, but if a storm is going to cast my ship into the very heart of such a dark empire, I'll bring the light of knowledge wherever I can. You must hunger for guidance. You're like children. I mean, only a handful of you could even grow a decent moustache. What kind of place is this? Can you now? Shall we put that to a test? I welcome the chance that you might impress me with a glimmer of intelligent insight. But I will acknowledge that I am likely to disagree just because I know you are, lacking. We will need educated men to judge the merits of our arguments. I've gone to great pains to learn your barbaric tongue, only to find that none of you has much to say. Can you convince me otherwise? I've heard a distinct lack of couplets and quatrains, to say nothing of pentameters. Is it any wonder you people live as you do? I charge you with defending the heart of your people. If a group of judges determines that you have adequately done so, I will declare you the winner. Whoever you wish. These 5 standing here. I'm sure there will be a balance of opinion. The test must be fair. Go on, talk to them all to prove I haven't coerced them. We'll begin the debate when you're ready. Then we'll see how you fare in combat. Doubt you'll do very well. Like the rest, you're all just too damn skinny.
I heard you accept the Outlander's challenge. I'm grateful you have seen fit to defend us all. I would be honored to sit in judgment of the debate. Several of my fellow scholars have also volunteered. To do otherwise would only help the Outlander win in the long run. If he wants a true debate, we will allow it to progress fairly. Of course, I doubt his arguments will have the weight that he expects, not here in the heart of the Jade Empire. I am ill-equipped to see my own faults, but I, like my fellow scholars, am adept at exploiting the weaknesses of others. Scholars Heng and Zhao are easily swayed with simple facts. Cite such details and they are certain to change their opinion either for or against. The best course is to appeal to the individual preferences of the judges. We are theoretical thinkers, really. It is not so much the subject, but the tactic that triggers reaction. Each judge will respond only to argument styles they favor. If a judge likes fact, use it once and he will join your side. Use it again and he will switch back just to further debate. Other arguments may not interest him at all. I wish you luck. I look forward to your defense of the Empire.
I greet you. My name is Scholar Kai, and I will be the 4th of 5 judges for the debate. I suggest you don't mess it up. He is an insult to our accomplishments as a people. If you fail in the debate, at least take him to task physically. I don't care where he came from. Anything to get him on his way. I am always impartial, but some of my fellows are easy to goad into decisions if you know their tastes. The minister is particularly fond of confrontational arguments. Respond in a rage and you are sure to engage him. Some arguments may win a judge's favor while turning another away. Vary your topics so that you don't end up manipulating the same judges over and over. The Outlander uses flawed logic. Don't allow him to taint this forum of culture and intellect.
Ah, so you are the one who will debate the Outlander. I am the 5th of your 5 judges. Try not to dig a hole you can't get out of. If you can't get everyone to agree with you, just focus on getting as many as you can. Remember, you need a majority of judges on your side at the end of 6 topics. Are you implying that I am predisposed to be weak in certain areas? I can't accept that. Some of my fellows, however, are another story. Scholars Zhao and Kai are easy to predict. Dismissing a weak argument gets their attention immediately and will spur them one way or another. He doesn't seem that interested in gathering any. He's clearly used to imposing his opinion regardless of the recipient's desire to have it. His points are debatable, but his presentation is not compatible with the garden. Yes, make certain you are ready. The Outlander will be a challenging opponent.
Greetings to you. I am Scholar Heng, and I will be serving as the 2nd of 5 judges for the debate. I look forward to honorable discourse. Try to choose your arguments in a sequence that eventually turns everyone in your favor. Don't worry about losing a vote on a single topic. I don't dislike him. I find some of his points to be worth discussing, but Sir Roderick is a bit disruptive for the garden. He may bring attention that we do not want. It would be best to peacefully encourage him to be on his way. I'm sure the others agree that my tastes are balanced. The minister, however, is easily engaged by sympathetic pleas, as are scholars Zhao and Gu. I find their appreciation of such fawning to be distasteful, but that is one of the arguments they prefer. Good luck against the Outlander. He is a tenacious speaker.
Oh, this is exciting. I've never been asked to jury a debate before, and now I'm the third of your 5 judges. My name is Scholar Zhao. He is coarser than the thinkers I am used to, but on the whole I am not as upset by him as others appear to be. He seems bent on disruptive behavior. He should be encouraged to take that elsewhere. I've argued in this group of scholars many times before. We are so used to each other that we will change opinions just to further the debate. Don't worry so much about what you are saying when you respond. Just concentrate on how you say it. I haven't given it much thought. I pictured myself as balanced, but some of the others are very specific in their tastes. Actually, you can sway scholars Kai and Gu by mocking your opponent. I don't care for it, but they seem to respond quite vigorously. Good luck. This should be an interesting debate.
The planting season was almost over, so I figured I might as well travel with him. It has been interesting.
Well, ready to set the ponies in motion, are we? Let's declare some rules and get to it. You don't mind if I make this interesting, do you? Good. Don't want to set you off your game, but I thought we should ensure that the process was more entertaining than a simple checklist of virtue. It will be a simple matter. 5 judges, 6 topics. I'll pose my argument about why your foolish land stumbles like a child, and you try to answer. The judges will raise their arms to indicate whom they favor. Arms up for you, arms down for me. After 6 topics, if you have a majority, you are the winner. By the Queen's corset, if you get them all on your side at any time, I'll declare the match over. Now, shall we proceed? I will pull no punches, and I expect no mercy on your part. Let's see which of us is truly superior. Well, what shall be my first point of contention? I know, the most basic of concerns for a culture, the currency of its economy. What manner of society would use the silver coin as the basis of trade? Gold is clearly superior, which you admit by using it for important statuary. Your understanding of what determines value is flawed. Your rebuttal? Well, you are clearly in the minority, but I can spare no quarter. To the next topic. I call attention to the arrogance of your empire. You simply assume that all lands outside your borders are the domain of barbarians and monsters. How could you truly know they are uncivilized until you've proven it by conquest? Crush them beneath your heel. You sit here thinking while far-off lands yearn for direction, not unlike what I am attempting with you. Well, a majority on your side, but the debate is not over yet. Shall I draw attention to your foolish reliance on personal combat? You've got strange dragon powder arms, but you waste them on spectacle and flying chariots. Any decently civilized people would have developed a proper array of personal sidearms by now, like old Mirabelle here. What? My monocle must be fond. I can't see anyone in my favor.
It appears they've reached a consensus against you, Sir Roderick.
Clearly these people are incapable of fairly comparing one of their own to an outsider. This is a farce. Then perhaps it was my mistake to think you would be open to anything other than your own backwards ideals. Pah! I seek satisfaction. You have bested me in debate, but true honor is decided on the dueling field. The entry hall here has walls to be up against, corners to be backed into, and floor enough on which to be down but not out. Whatever your metaphor, I'll beat it. Return to me when you are ready, and we will walk there together, just to ensure that no one gets lost or suffers an accident that would prevent a fair fight. Frankly, I don't know what you people are capable of. What? Good! Let's get this over with so I can return to schooling the rest of your fellows. I envy you. You are about to experience for the first time the skill that has forged an empire and traveled the world. There will be pain as well, but I imagine it will be almost worth it. That was a fine display of skill.
It was a fair fight, Sir Roderick, within the rules you specified.
Yes, old boy, you've got it right. I was really sat down, I believe. Like the fall of the old bridge across the Grand. My humours are in disarray, I tell you. I supposed I should have seen it coming. Your win in the debate was a sure sign. I do believe I have underestimated the lot of you. Regardless, you have beaten me. That's a point of honor I cannot deny. Well, there's no other thing for it. Intended or not, you've earned a reward from me. The unsuccessful combatant in a duel must arrange a worthy gift for the victor. I wouldn't be much of an ambassador for my country if I didn't abide by its customs. The Duchess of Almsbottom's rules of engagement are quite clear on this matter. Mirabelle is yours. Treat her well. She's a finicky lady. Right, that's all. Fluff my travelling trousers. We will darken this garden no more.
A well-fought victory against that outlander buffoon. You showed that he could not best us in battle, mentally or physically. We are all in your debt, but the Ministry of Culture is particularly so. Please take this token sum of silver as payment. You certainly earned it. Your service is appreciated. If only there were more like you in the Empire.
You have secured a great victory for the Empire. The Outlander has to respect us now.
A triumph all around. This Outlander cannot ignore how complete your victory was.
Awukate yer, wa na pa yer uk forti. Akir sanwi ni fayit wawawir wakawir isono ni fayiter ofino. Ike kir kir washatiruk. Uknik kupkitro sa irwustak kithno ukyowir kwadner. Sunur noku wu ifuwir sowir tatasi ni siso irka wikawar ir roren. Usa ir sa wi apihir ninu siso irtiuth. Wawawir shaksi ir kawir onk ni siso ir akuwu uksunti wawawir shaksi ir fukno. Sunur noku wu ifuwir sowir tatasi ni siso irka wikawar ir roren. Krons niwu no yir wayir uksakwanerko uknik ni siso ir akuwu. Ike kir kir washatiruk. Pir inni tinowir noni apatar wo kawar nif. Ni siso ir akuwu kusuwir wawuso ir tan.
I hope you're not here to pester me. I'm a very busy, important, and educated man, you know. All manner of studies. The history of dramatic systems, applied theology, and, celestial integration. All of these are vital pursuits of knowledge. Not that you would understand such lofty matters. Well, it's the application of the study of theological things, isn't it? For instance, knowing about spirits and then finding a use for that knowledge. Well, no, not really. This is the study of applied theology, not the application of studied theology. That's something else entirely.
This answer should be interesting. I have a question I would ask of this scholar, if you would permit me.
Well, you see, drama can be broken down into several systems, and I study the history of those systems over time, how they've changed, and that sort of thing. Well, of course not. A student of theater, are you?
I was just wondering about the recent shift in dramatic presentations away from the customary iterative productions where the fourth wall is regularly deconstructed. Does the shift towards more codified productions with barriers established between the presented world and the actual environment create a more immersive experience? That's what I thought. He's not the only one who's had to spend some time in hiding in this garden. I, however, did my research. This is clearly creative Yukong, though I'm not sure he's earned his name.
Of course not! Drat. This isn't working at all. How did you know? You're here to hunt me down, then. Lord Rento has it in for me, and I figured it would come to this. I don't suppose running would do me any good. I was unjustly accused. I simply petitioned Lady Rento for some silver to support me as an actor. Patronage, it's called. She agreed, but her husband flew into a rage when he found out, and now I have a death sentence on my head. It's not fair. And if you were a decent person, you'd help me get out of this city instead of taking me in. It's the only way I'll get clear of Lord Rento's wrath. You need more proof than my pathetic attempt to pose as a scholar? How about the fact that Lord Rento was out of town when I bilked him? Not that anyone but Lady Rento will confirm that for you. Still, it should be apparent that I'm not some great confidence man. We should go see Captain Sen right away if you're sure. Is now a fair time to go down to the gate to get me out of here? The only easy way out of this city is through the gate that Sen is guarding, and he's looking for me. However, if I disguise myself as a mercenary and sneak past him, I might just get away, but you have to help me by distracting him. Just tell him that I've already escaped, and I'll get away just fine. I can't imagine what might go wrong.
Citizen, I hear there is progress in the search for Creative Yukon. A scholar ran out of the Scholar's Garden after talking to you. Tell me you have good news. How did he get past me? He couldn't access a flyer. What is that man doing? Are you certain he's gone? Would a bit of silver jog your memory?
Interesting. I wonder how high he'll raise the bounty if you keep stringing him along.
What do you say? Look at that tart swinging her hips for that mercenary. I can't see how Yukon slipped past us. Did he bribe one of my agents somehow? Well, the Imperial Army has more silver than some confidence man, if you take my meaning. Well, if you say so. Despite Lord Rento's insistence to the contrary, I doubt he was a master criminal. Perhaps I'll just declare Yukon's bounty a dead matter. Is there anything else that the Imperial Army can do for one of our fine citizens? Right you are. Remember to keep an eye out for anyone suspicious.
Her own master died at her hands, and she had fellow students kidnapped and tortured just because they didn't agree with her.
Why haven't I seen any activity among the Lotus Assassins yet? You should talk to the contacts I gave you. Remember our arrangement? You secure the evidence of the army Death's Hand is building, and I'll get you to the palace to confront my father. Scholar Dungao in the Scholar's Garden will alert him to your interest. Return to your base at the Flyer after you've spoken with him.
I can't agree with this. You don't know what you're getting into. You don't know the danger they represent.
Really? What did you see while hiding in your swamp? I've observed Death's Hand for years, both in the palace and elsewhere.
You could have 4 faces and a different name and wardrobe for each, and you still wouldn't understand. Death's Hand is not what he seems.
Then what, pray tell, is he?
I don't know. But his power does not come from study or skill. He is something darker, and we should not be trying to enter his lair.
It sounds like Sagacious Zoo wants to go back into hiding. Or perhaps the nursery? Pay no attention, not everyone is as weak as he is.
Thank you for listening, but I want more than caution. Neither of you understand what they are capable of.
You aren't doing much to add to our understanding. Go sulk in the corner like you're accustomed to doing.
This is not helping anything. Are we any closer to getting to the Lotus Assassins so this accursed woman will help us find Master Li?
Oh, she spits fire at last. Now I see how the child left her little village. She has some spirit in her after all. And she's also right. We are no closer to finding the secret plans that Death's Hand has been making. You have to move quicker. Go to the Imperial Arena to meet the Executioner, or speak with Scholar Dungao in the Scholar's Garden about the Inquisitor. like it. I thought you might want a little assistance. Consider it a small token of my favor. I thank you for your courtesy. One always likes to hear when one's gifts are appreciated. It is difficult for one of my rank to give gifts, even one so simple as what I gave you. A princess is not normally allowed to show favorites. Better that I give it away before Death's Hand carts it off. He has been quite brazen. Besides, it was mine by birthright to do it as I wish. Must I always be dictated to by tradition, despite my respect for it? Sometimes I want what everyone else has, to be myself. Generosity is part of my character from time to time as well. It is more than most men will show for you. You are polite at least. Too many men just take what they can while they can. Perhaps we women are more civilized. But the price I may pay for helping you could be greater still. I am destined for the throne, destined to rule the Empire after my father, but that will be meaningless if Death's Hand keeps his hold on my father's mind. I fear one day he may try to interfere with the imperial succession. Or perhaps convince my father that he should be emperor by marriage. Indeed, we cannot. I would bite my own tongue before ever allowing that man to touch me. I'm sorry, I've ruined the mood. We should continue our talk another time. First, we must expose Death's Hand, reveal his treachery and manipulation. I will answer what I can, but you have other things to do as well. My father? What do you want to know that isn't already public knowledge? Emperor Sun Hai is well known and well loved. Death's Hand is wearing away at that reputation, however, and I need to stop him before it goes too far. He has been present for as long as I can remember, but he only rose to prominence after the end of the long drought. My father was very caring when I was a child. Now he is cold and distant. I know Death's Hand is corrupting him somehow. I will answer what I can, but you have other things to do as well. We've gone over this. Death's Hand is using the prisoners who should be working on the wall to construct some sort of personal army of golems. My father probably knows something, but not the true danger of it. I need to show that Death's Hand intends to seize control. The Lotus Assassins act for Death's Hand. There has to be proof of his evil intent in the Lotus Assassin Fortress. That is where you need to go. My father? Death's Hand is wearing away at that. I wish you luck. Once you have gained the trust of the Lotus Assassins, we will plan how to proceed.